All right, welcome Hornet fans to Hornets Live, presented by American Pie Pizza. Thanks for joining us for tonight's show as we are back on Mondays. And if you're here at American Pie Pizza just to enjoy some pizza, then we appreciate you guys coming out. And as we're going to have a good night tonight, Coach. We've got a good group here with us, and we're going to have a lot of fun with these guys. I think it's going to be a good evening as we've got a big group of Hornet fans. And I think our big Hornet student section here, and I think our camera's over there on those guys now. So excited to have this group of guys here with it. I know you see some familiar faces who have been a big part of some of these road games as they've been filling up the student section.
Absolutely. They've been such a big help in all the wins we've been able to get.
So a loaded show tonight. It's going to be pretty exciting. First off, we'll talk about the pizzas. Obviously, I think we got enough pizza to feed a couple of armies here tonight. Chicken Bacon Ranch, the Hog Wild. Those guys out there are tearing up on some pizzas. I don't know what all they're eating out there. There's multiple different things. I even went with another thing of nachos tonight. So we are the folks here at American Pie Pizza are hooking us up with some food, and we appreciate them. But awesome to see so many students here as we're in the midst of a pretty big week.
It's just another game.
Just another game. Coach speak. You're not going to get any excitement out of Coach, and rightfully so. It is in the grand scheme of things. It really is just another game. I mean,
yep.
It's the end of the first half of conference play, and it's kind of that turning point as we look back, and really kind of fun because we get this one, we get the next 4 in a row at home, so it's a nice little homestand for a couple of weeks, and really the back half of the conference schedule sets up well because we do get so many games at home.
Yes, sir. Obviously, they're a really talented team, and it'll determine seeding. So that's the only significance. Other than that, it's just another game.
Yep. So we're going to talk tonight about the 82-77 win over Beebe. And then in the second segment, we've got a special treat as I don't see him here yet, but he better be here. I'm going to be disappointed in him. His Hornet senior Jordan Harrison plans to announce who he intends to play for at the next level. And then we're going to be joined by a host of Hornet basketball players as kind of a mini celebration night. I think part of it is to say thanks to these guys out here. This is a student section I think we've talked about every single week, and they've been such a key integral part of what you guys have been able to accomplish as kind of that extra that extra piece of energy you guys have needed, especially on the road.
Yes, sir. I talked to the Beebe athletic director today, and he was talking about how when most teams show up, they got just a handful of kids in their student section, and he was talking about how impressed he was that we were 3 or 4 rows deep of student section and the support that we had, and definitely made for a real fun environment.
Well, it's definitely been a lot of fun. Now, Friday night, we're going to talk about that first. Might not have been the prettiest win, but a win is a win, and 6-0 is 6-0, right?
Yes, sir. I'll take a pretty win over an ugly loss.
Absolutely.
I mean, an ugly win over a pretty loss.
Either way, whatever.
Yeah.
We wins or win.
That's
yeah.
Right.
I mean, and to that point, an 82-77 win in what was some pretty unfriendly confines of Badger Arena can be tough to get when you go on the road. And so while we've got some things to work on, again, we got a W when it was all said and done.
Yep. As I always say, we don't play very good defense. We, fortunately, are really good on offense and just try to outscore everybody.
So we're going to talk about that tonight. And I thought early on, though, that this one was going to go much like a lot of the other games have gone this year through conference play, especially after the first. Nico hits another buzzer beater to end the first, and you guys built a 26-14 lead. And really, I mean, when you look at averages, this was a game where we were headed on our average in the 80s. They were headed to be in the average of, the 50s or 60s at that point. And I think in a normal situation, you'd take that all day long to have a game in an 80, 84, 56 type game.
Absolutely. When I saw your prediction post or whatever and everybody was saying 80s and 90s, I thought there was no way. I thought for sure Beebe would try to slow it down and try to keep it in the 40s and, play their style and keep us uncomfortable. And after that first quarter, when I realized they were going to run, I told our guys, I said, they can't run with us for 4 quarters. In that first half, I think we had 5 different guys make threes, and so we were knocking down shots, and we were feeling good the first half.
So in the second, it seemed like Beebe started to find a little more room around the three-point line. I think 2 big things. I went back. I've watched the game now 3 times. I was telling Will before we got started. Went back and statted it. Then I went back and pulled highlights, and then I went back getting prepped for tonight. It's something that I noticed, and I'm sure you guys have seen this as well, but obviously the three-point line was a big part of it. You know what you're going to get out of Riley Marshall. He can basically hit from anywhere in the gym. And once he steps in the gym, he's in range. But they had guys like Nell and Tien was another guy who was able to hit some big shots throughout that game. But they went 4 of 8 from 3 in that second. And really, rebounding was a little bit of an issue. I think they had about 6 second chance opportunities in that second quarter.
That was the big thing that we focused on at halftime was the rebounding margin. We go into every game talking about how that's one of our few, keys to the game that we have to focus on, and we've got to win that, that individual battle, and we did not do a good job on the boards. Like you said, for the game, I believe both teams shot around 42% from three. Yep. They just attempted about 3 times as many as we did. So.
Well, another big piece of this was obviously road environment. You and I have talked a lot so far throughout this season about the different environments. These kids are seeing something completely different than what they saw last year. Mostly empty gyms last year. This year we're starting to see it, but I thought, we talked about the Little Rock Christian game. That was a big battle where it was more of a physical battle between the two teams. You had some jawing between fan bases, but it wasn't an overly loud, electric atmosphere, whereas you knew from the tip of the girls' game on Friday night that the atmosphere was going to be extremely raucous in Beebe.
Oh, yeah. It was, and to me, that's what high school sports is all about. It's about those environments, the kids getting the opportunities, the memories that these kids in the student sections will have. They're going to last a lifetime. I talk to kids still that were here 6 years ago, when we beat Parkview on a buzzer beater, that they still talk about that. Like, that's the one memory from high school that sticks out. And so that's, I'm all about these kids getting the best experience they can. And I love it when the other team has a good student section because it gives our guys something to get, fired up about. And as long as we do our job on the court, we're backing up their trash talking for them. So I'm all for it. The other good thing is, I remember last year at Beebe when there weren't many fans and we could hear all the parents, and that's not something that I like to hear, so I like when we have a lot of fans so I don't have to hear the parents.
Last year was an interesting game in Beebe. We'll get to that too before we're done because this one had a feel late like that one had last year. But, how hard is it as a coach when you're in an environment like that, how hard is it to keep your players in that right mindset and not let them get too worried about what's being said from those student sections that are that big?
Well, I personally, I get in the zone and don't hear anything. Mm-hmm. And I think most of our guys do. I think, most of them they're such good competitors that they get after it and they stay locked in. We talk all the time about, communication, when we're on the other end of the floor, especially in an environment like Friday, they can't hear us from the bench. And so they've got to talk to each other. They've got to stay on the same page. And that's the big thing. And being a senior loaded team, they've all been through these types of battles in these environments, and so they have they've had those opportunities to, help each other out. If they see someone, just like we talked about at Little Rock Christian, Nico got a little upset. Colby was right there putting his hand over his mouth. Hey, calm down, be quiet, let's move on. And so that's good. That's one of the perks of having that senior-laden team. Well,
you could tell, obviously, it seemed like throughout the entire game your guys really held their composure. And I mean, because there was a lot of stuff being said, as you would expect. There was a lot of back and forth between fans, what you expect, what you want. They're not saying anything bad about it. But, again, this is a bit of a new experience for these guys being able to play. I think outside of the state championship game last year, which is obviously a little different animal in terms of what fans are there. But this was one of the first games that I think we've done broadcast-wise over the last 2 seasons where there was that type of atmosphere in the building, which just kind of really seemed to help carry Beebe a little bit. And because every time we'd get a 13, 14-point lead, they'd call a timeout. Their fans would get back into it. Riley Marshall would hit a 3, and they'd be right back in the game again.
Yes, sir. They definitely provided that boost, but I think they also provide it for us as well. Yeah. I think our guys really feed off of that. Some guys more than others, but I think it's a big part for us because, like I said, when the other teams, talking trash or chanting or whatever, that just gets our guys more fired up, and then the more our student section's fired up, the more it fires up our team, and so it plays to our benefit as well.
So we'd go into the half up 10, and again, offensively at this point, we're on pace to match our season average of about 84 points a game. And defensively, even with some of the lapses we saw in the second, the lack of rebounding at times, we were still on pace to hold Beebe below our season average. I think we're averaging about 68 per game that we're giving up, and they were on pace to hit about 64, 65. What was the message to the team at the break?
Just keep sharing the ball on offense. Like I said, I believe we had 5 guys in the first half that hit threes. We talked about that, getting the best shot we possibly could. And then, obviously like I said, we talked about focusing on rebounding. We had to do a better job rebounding. I told him, I said, Nail is such a good point guard. He's not going to turn the ball over. And Marshall is an exceptional player. And I said, we've just got to play for stops. We can't try to get steals. We can't do a bunch of gambling. There were a few times where we did that. And, we do it every game. But we go for a steal and then don't recover, and then teams get, a 5-on-4, and they end up scoring almost every time. So that was the main key, was just making sure you play solid defense and finish every defensive possession with a rebound.
So we'd open the second half up on an 8-2 run, which would allow us to open our biggest lead of the game at 16. And it seemed like this was going to be another one of those games where we were able to build a big lead through 3 and then cruise through the 4th. But Beebe had other ideas, as once again we seemed to leave too much space for their shooters from the three-point line. And really, again, second chance opportunities once again proved to be costly, as Beebe would cut the lead to just 9 with 2 minutes left in the third.
Yeah, we talk all the time about trying to develop that killer instinct, and when you have people down, putting them away. And we've had a tendency in several games to just kind of get relaxed. We get up 12-15 or whatever, and then we relax, and then they cut it to 7 or 8. Then all of a sudden we play hard again and stretch it back out to 14-16, and then relax, and it's just kind of back and forth. And so that's definitely something that we've got to get better at.
And we talk about that. We've talked about that, I think, every week, where we get to those those big leads, and it just makes when I see it, when I think about it from my perspective, is how much of that is this team maybe getting overly confident with that big lead, and like you said, kind of taking a little bit of a step back. You lose that killer instinct, you lose that intensity, and so you have games where instead of finishing it off with that 30 or 40-point win, which you maybe could get, you're letting these teams get back within 9 or 10, and that's a big piece of how these games have seemingly got so close, outside of the Benton game, which we were able to really pull away late. But the Beebe game, was obviously much closer all the way to the end. And so how much of that do you think is just the guys kind of letting go of the rope a little bit?
I think that's a lot of it. One thing that we have, and we didn't do a good job at Beebe, but when we played Sylvan Hills, and one of the late timeouts, we told them we can get up to 10 tiebreaker points, and so we stressed the key of the importance of that, getting all the tiebreaker points we could. And so, you have to play hard till the end to make sure you get those, because, it was at Sylvan Hills. I think we just kind of didn't play defense there at the end. We were like, let's not foul, let's just get out of here. Well, then they end up scoring, and we only get 8. And so at that point, we actually had that serious conversation as a team. And even during the timeout at BB, we talked about how it was, 12 or something at the time. And I was like, guys, we've got to get the 10 tiebreaker points. This conference is going to, it's going to be tough, and it could come down to that. And we don't want to look back and be like, oh, because that one possession we didn't play defense, then that's, what got us second or third or fourth or whatever in the conference.
Right. And you look at that, too, right now, obviously, and maybe that's the message going into the second half of the conference play is, you look at what Parkview's been able to do, and they have gotten 10 every time. I was going through updating records across 5A today. They're maxed out on those tiebreaker points, because they have basically, outside, I think, what Benton stayed within 11 of them. Everyone else they've beaten by 20 or more, I think. So they've been impressive, and obviously you're chasing that, because even if you win this one tomorrow, you've got another one at their place, at the end of the season.
Yes, sir. And that's, I'm fairly confident that the guys know what's at stake tomorrow, and I think we'll get a chance to really evaluate how good we are, because I think, they'll be locked in the whole time. And I think it's going to be, it should be a really highly competitive game, and I don't think either team will, get too far ahead to where anybody would have a chance to get relaxed.
Right. So, but as they say, we'll go back to the BB game. Basketball is a game of runs, and after a 9-5 run by the Hornets, we'd be up headed to the 4th, 63-50, and I think. Probably again. I know. You probably had some frustrations from the defensive side. They had some runouts. I know Karenko was able to get open on some easy buckets down the court. But again, you go into the 4th, and you're giving up about 18 or 16, 18 a quarter, and so you got to feel fairly okay when you look up at the scoreboard up 13, and knowing that you've kind of done what you've done most of the season defensively to kind of hold that score down, and you've got a nice double-digit lead.
Yes, sir. But like we kept reminding them, you can't get comfortable, especially on a kid like Riley Marshall. You give him an inch, and he's going to knock the shot down. He can score, anyway, and you saw in the alley-oop, how athletic he is.
Yeah.
And then, of course, like I said with Nail, not only is he not going to turn it over, but he can get to his spots, and he can knock shots down. And there were several times, and I think it was in the fourth quarter, where we had some miscommunications in transition, and he just kind of stepped up to the top of the key, and nobody was there. Nobody picked him up, and so he knocked down the wide-open shot. That was going back to, like I mentioned earlier, the communication. That was what was the most frustrating for me, was because, I mean, that's, you got to pick up the ball. Like, we're not a team that says you're going to guard this guy and only this guy the entire game. Like, we're going to match up. We're pretty versatile, 1 through 5, and so we got to pick up the ball and then the next biggest threat. But
so we going into the fourth up 13 is usually a good thing for us. We know we can kind of stretch it out. We're typically in their legs. We're typically slowing. They're slowing down quite a bit. And really, I think to your point and what we talked about last week on the show was we expected Beebe to kind of do that. And so when you're at a point where you're up 13, you feel pretty good. But it seemed like Beebe found that extra step in the final quarter as they were able to put up 27. Their best quarter of the whole game was in the fourth. And it came down to open threes. There was a few long ones. Obviously, Riley was able to hit some shots that, no matter how well you guarded him, he was hitting them. But they also had several open shots. But I think the other piece of it, too, was they had some pretty easy and one opportunities where they were able to get spots, get underneath, get the ball underneath, and then just get up and get the little hack and get the bucket.
Absolutely, and that goes back to, like we talked about in the first half, there were some offensive rebounds they got, and they were in position. We've got to do a better job on the boards, and we had a few turnovers there in that fourth quarter that also, you can't give teams extra possessions, and offensive rebounds and turnovers, that's a prime way to give up a run real quick.
So just like last season in that building, the game would come down to the final minute. Now, it was a little different last year. Andy and I talked about it on the broadcast. But, last year was weird in that fourth quarter. In the final minute, I think we were up like 9 or 10, and they were able to come back and force overtime. But this time I thought we executed much better than we did last season, and were able to hit a couple big shots. And you had a big run out where Nico was able to get a rebound, get it out to KT, and really get a pretty easy bucket. Colby would down 3 or 4 big free throws there at the end, and we'd escape with an 82-77 win.
Yes, sir. That's all that matters right now is getting the wins.
That's right. 6-0 in conference. This is, and we're going to talk more about the game coming up, but this is an opportunity maybe to reflect a little bit. Obviously, a lot of work to be done, but as you look back through these first 6, I know the one thing you're going to tell me we can do better is play defense. We can play defense much better, and we can rebound much better. But what has this team done well to this point that maybe not surprise is the right word, but where is this team what has this team excelled at the best?
Scoring.
Obviously, 84, 85 points a game.
Yes,
will do that.
Scoring, and in reality, most games I feel like we do win the rebounding battle. They've been a good rebounding team this year, but there's definitely room for improvement. And then, I always give them a hard time about our defense, but there have been times this year where we've been in situations in games where they are locked in and they're capable of playing good defense. Today we had a mostly defensive-focused practice. They look good in practice today, and that's what I told them. I said, just let today's practice carry over the rest of the season. Like, just lock in and play defense. Like, you got the offense down. Let's just become a good defensive team, and then we can actually be a contender. So.
Absolutely. Well, we're looking forward to it. Obviously, big game coming up tomorrow. We're going to take a quick break here, and when we get back, we've got a special treat for you as we're going to be joined by several of our basketball players. But before we do that, Hornet senior defensive lineman Jordan Harrison will be announcing who he's going to be playing his college football for. So we'll be back here in just a few minutes after a break, and we'll be joined by Jordan Harrison. Now Garland looking to drive to the basket, fakes the pass, goes up off the backboard, and good. Colby Garland goes right around. Got in that time. Defense. Now Garland goes. Short jumper is up and good. Colby Garland knocks it down. Tie ball game at 6. Now Garland looks to drive, trying to back Nell into the lane. Shot is up, in and out, in and good. Oh, short rebound, Nico. Now Nico looking to drive, gives it outside. Colby, easy money. Garland got it in the foul. No, they don't call the foul. Nico going to give it away to Colby. Colby looking to drive. Colby all the way to the lane. Colby around Karanko. Shot up and good. How, Colby, how, as he puts that one up and in. Controls. Colby bringing it up. 11-point lead for the Hornets. 2.5 to go. Colby to the basket. Colby into the lane, up off the backboard, and good. Marshall goes to his right. Colby spins. Gets Karanko in the air, puts it up and in with the hesitation. Hey, Riley Marshall is the king of flops. as he just flopped to the floor again. Now Colby from the block got it. From the elbow to Garland. And Garland bringing it up the floor. Garland hesitation, spins with the left hand, looks inside. What a pass to Nico. Wow. Nico what? Nico makes buck.
I got a whole sentence out.
Trying to go back cut to Thurman. Couldn't get it to him. Now Garland says, I'll take it to the lane. Nice inside pass to Riley Wade. My goodness. The ability. He'll drive to the basket, stops, gives it out to Garland, open lane. Garland hands it to Nico. Nico going to go up and puts it up and in. Nico, the Predator, Davier.
So any great basketball coach will tell you that communication is absolutely key to winning ball games. If you don't communicate, you're not going to get the ball to the hoop. At Cornerstone, we feel the exact same way about the mortgage process. We have to communicate to you. We want you to know where you are every step of the way. We want to get you to the closing table with no stress, and that's a winning game plan to me.
With Cornerstone Home Lending, you always have the home court advantage. Visit loansbydo.com to get started.
Now Garland looking to drive to the basket, fakes the pass, goes up off the backboard and good. Colby Garland goes right around. Got in that time. Defense. Now Garland goes. Short jumper's up and good. Colby Garland knocks it down. Tie ball game at 6. Now Garland looks to drive, trying to back Nell into the lane. Shot is up, in and out, in and good. Oh, short rebound, Nico. Now Nico looking to drive, gives it outside. Colby, easy money. Garland got it in the foul. No, they don't call the foul. Nico going to give it away to Colby. Colby looking to drive. Colby all the way to the lane. Colby around Karanko. Shot up and good. How, Colby, how as he puts that one up and in. Controls. Colby bringing it up. 11-point lead for the Hornets. 2.5 to go. Colby to the basket. Colby into the lane, up off the backboard, and good. Marshall goes to his right. Colby spins. Gets Karanko in the air, puts it up and in with the hesitation. Riley Marshall is the king of flops, as he just flopped to the floor again. Now Colby from the block got it. From the elbow to Garland. And Garland bringing it up the floor. Garland hesitation, spins with the left hand, looks inside. What a pass to Nico. Wow. Nico what? Nico makes buck.
I got a whole sentence out.
Trying to go back cut to Thurman. Couldn't get it to him. Now Garland says, I'll take it to the lane. Nice inside pass to Riley Wade. My goodness. The ability. He'll drive to the basket, stops, gives it out to Garland, open lane. Garland hands it to Nico. Nico going to go up and puts it up and in. Nico, the Predator, Davier. All right, welcome back to Hornets Live from American Pie Pizza. You guys be sure to come by and see our friends here at American Pie Pizza for lunch this week, located at 9709 Maumelle Boulevard. And so now, well, I have it as joining coach. Coach is over here hiding off the camera, so we've got some football guys here. Thank you. And I got my sweet tea. You guys, hey, we've got a really good group. I appreciate everybody that's here. You guys make sure you take care of our wait staff really well. They're working hard tonight, and they're shorthanded, so please take good care of these folks as they're taking good care of you guys. And we appreciate everybody being here. This is our biggest group yet, and this has always kind of been our goal, is to try to get as many people here as possible. I know this is a big week, and I know there's a big game tomorrow that everybody's excited about. But we're gonna have some excitement too, because there's another piece of excitement this week, and it's National Signing Day on Wednesday, and so we're not done with our football guys yet. You know, we got Mr. Hogg over here next to me on my left. We know where you're headed. We don't have any questions there. And then we got Big Jack Roby over here, Jordan Harrison next to me. And so I saw a couple of new offers come in over the last few days. Signing day just a couple days away. So first off, I want to talk about the schools who have been recruiting you, and give us a couple of highlights from your recruitment so far. Hang on. May have it on the wrong one. There you go.
All right, lately it's been a couple D2s and a couple JUCOs here and there. Recently I just had a visit to Bethel University out there in Tennessee, and I also had a visit at Henderson State University in Arkadelphia. Very good, very good.
So some late interest coming in, obviously, which is big, kind of normal for this time. But well, I'm going to give you the mic first, because these other questions are, because you got to reveal something for us first. So I'm just going to hand it over to you, and I'm going to let you tell us, and I think Colby may help you, but I'm going to let you tell us what your choice is, what your decision is.
So first off, I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. just want to thank my mom, dad. I also thank the man above for giving me this opportunity to announce this. But for the next 3 to 4 years, I will be attending Henderson State University.
All right. So that makes 2 of you so far, right? That's 2 of you so far,
Yes,
right?
sir.
That
Me
are
and
headed to
Caleb.
Henderson.
Yes,
That's
sir.
right.
Yes,
So
sir.
how excited are you to be able to go down and play with Caleb?
Oh, I'm very excited. We talked about it actually on the way up here. I was talking to him about it. I'm like, we finna be teammates again.
Very good. So what was the difference? What made Henderson stick out and inevitably led you to choose them?
For one, it's not too far from home. That's the main thing, other than that, Coach Hogwarts did a very good job of recruiting me up there. And we conversate almost every other day. And just building a relationship with the coaches, even though I'm not up there yet, that's what stuck out to me.
Now, no, I have personally never been Battle the Ravine, right? Don't let me get it wrong. So Battle the Ravine, I've never personally been, but now I've got 2 reasons to go, maybe a few more here in the future. But I got 2 good reasons to go down.
Yes,
How excited are you to be able to play in that game?
I'm very excited. I can't wait. I can't wait to play it.
Be really, really cool.
Yes,
well,
sir.
Jordan, I appreciate it. We appreciate your time. Congrats on your commitment.
Yes, sir.
And I hate to kick you out of this seat, but I'm gonna have to kick you out to make room for some of these other guys. But I know there's a bunch of football guys here excited for you and ready to follow your journey as well, and some basketball guys. Big Rod over here.
Yes,
So
sir.
I know it means a lot for you guys, for you to see these guys.
Yes, sir.
support
It do.
you.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations, man.
Appreciate
Proud of you.
man. Thank you.
Leave that one there. We got room for one more down here. Put KT down there. You may have to share mics with Coach over there. So, all right, you want to unmute the rest of those? We got everybody but KT on.
Does Carl and Maul want to come back here?
Come on with it. Yeah, we got room. Carl, Maul, get the rest of the guys up here. KD,
Riley's over there.
Riley's over there.
Riley K.
Riley eating his chicken nuggets. Oh, wait, that's Carl. Never mind. My bad. Let's see. May have to stand. I think we gave away all our seats. Yeah, hook them up with a couple of seats over there on that end. All right. Yeah, eat it. You ain't got a mic.
Y'all
Yeah,
want
eat it.
Jeremiah down here?
Wherever they ever. Hey, bring it. Whoever. Bring them all.
Come on, Jeremiah. Jeremiah.
Jeremiah don't want to join us.
Don't start picking out, guys.
Nah,
They're on camera.
they're not on mic. They're good. Let them eat. Tear it up. They don't have mics. I'm not worried about it. All right, so obviously we're going to do things a little differently tonight. Typically we just have Coach and one player with us, but I know Coach. Just ignore Coach because I know Coach doesn't think this is big. But and you guys, I know you're going to have the mentality of your coach, and we're excited for this game. We are the hype machine. You know, we like to hype it up. We like to have fun because, again, our goal is to get as many eyeballs on this program as possible. And so we want to have some fun with it. So we appreciate you guys coming. First thing I want to say, and I think we've got, let's see, KT, Colby, who else is mic'd up? Just, all right, right there. All right, so I'll let you guys talk real quick, and then we'll have some questions. Maybe we can pass mics around. But first off, I'll let you each answer how you will. Colby, I'll ask you first, but since you're closest. Talk about this group of folks. Obviously, it's a big group of folks you see every day at school. You get to see these guys, supporting you guys in the stands. But how cool is it to see a good group of folks here tonight getting ready for tomorrow night?
Oh, it's very good. You know, my man got a good support cast system. Shout out to everybody out there. There's some good people. Yeah, so they support us and we support them.
KT?
I always say we got the best student section in 5A.
Yeah.
We
Maybe the
feed off
state.
their energy, and I love it. I love the atmosphere.
Big time, big time. I know. I don't know. Let me see. How big is it, Carl?
I think it's very big. They don't support us. So, yeah, I'm just glad they can come out to the games and support us.
Absolutely. Obviously a different situation than what we saw last year. You guys weren't used to. Yeah, you can pass that mic around. Riley, how big is the crowd support of these? You don't have to put it on, man. If you can hear me, just talk into the mic.
It's big. You know, we want y'all to come out tomorrow at 7 and tee us up like always. So
Well, and I'll say this. I know. You know, Hunter was asking me earlier before you guys got here, and so, you know, I know most of you guys graduate. We've got a lot of seniors. Everybody up here except Caden hiding back here behind us. But so we're going to be issuing a challenge though before football season. So some of you guys will be able to come back. You know, some of you guys may be a little far away. Some of you guys will be able to come back. But we're going to make it. I want you guys to help push a big student section for football season next year before you guys leave Maumelle, because these guys have done a phenomenal job of supporting. You guys know how much it means to y'all, and I know it's big to some of these guys that are going to be coming back playing football next year, and it'll be big for those guys to have a student section. We were joking with them in pregame or in the pre-show. You guys may not like this because we didn't get to do it for football season this year, but we've got plans for a little celebration zone. And, well, depending on who the new coach is. Horton was all about it. Now we'll have to see who the new coach is. We got some plans to have a lot of fun with it, so we're excited about that. But again, this group of folks here tonight, I'm excited to have this many people here. I know this is what we envisioned when we started doing these shows, was to try to get as many people here as we could. So appreciate all you guys being here, and let me say, so congrats on a great start to conference play. 6-0 so far. I'll start down here. Let's give it to Nico, or if you want to start, Riley. What do you think's been the key to this team's success through the first half of conference play?
I think we play good as a team, and you know we're working on communicating on defense, so we're gonna be better at that eventually.
Nico.
I like the hog on him.
Yeah, that's Andy's. So had to hook Andy up, make sure he knows.
What was the question again?
So what do you think's made this team so successful here in the early part of conference play?
I think it's just us playing together, just learning how to play with each other, just team bonding, just always together is making us more comfortable around each other and trusting each other more.
So I know for Coach that was a concern coming into the year. A lot of new guys having to work their way into the roster and into the lineup. And I know I've talked to this guy about that a lot because he's one of the new guys, but. It seems like obviously you guys have played more and more together, you've gotten more comfortable with each other. But talk about how you've built that team camaraderie to get it to this point to where you guys have started to play and really start to gel as a team.
I think it just all happened just us being around each other, really just working out together, pushing each other, just being around each other. What, bro? And Neosho helped me.
And Neosho.
Yeah, there we go.
Neosho was big. I know we've talked about that a little bit. KT, I'll ask you that as well. So I know they talk about Neosho being a big piece of it. There was obviously opportunities to go to other places where we could have played. Coach loves the Neosho tournament. It's a great tournament. It was really well ran. How big was that in terms of building that team camaraderie from your perspective, KT?
That was very big to me. Like, it was a good trip to, like, team bond. You know, we spent a lot of time in the hot tub together after the games or before the games or something, you know.
So from your perspective, obviously a guy that you're building your role. I'm going to jump ahead of myself a little bit here, and because we've been talking about defense a lot tonight. And I know that Coach over here, Coach over here is preaching defense and preaching defense. Do you ever get tired of hearing him preach defense?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't.
So we have affectionately named you the Gnat. That obviously came from a couple of weeks ago here, and but you really have over the last few weeks really become a force defensively, and it's a role that often goes unnoticed to the average person watching a game. But it seems like you've embraced that role since conference play has started. What do you think makes you a good defender?
I don't know, honestly. Most people think you got to impact the game by scoring. Mm-hmm. That's all you got to impact the game by. I mean, I impact the game on the defensive end, too.
Well, and I know that, obviously, I know you like to get out. You like to be able to run. You like to be able to dunk. You like to be able to put on a show as much as you can. And we saw that, obviously, in the Neosho getting to win the dunk contest, even though it took me having to give you some elbows and force you to go out there and do it. But obviously, that's the exciting part of the game. And I know you love that part of the game. And that was something, your energy, though, is such a different factor. And I know we use the term Gnat because it's that annoyance on the floor. It's that frustration. But you guys already play a pace that's going to frustrate people. So when you can come in defensively and add to that frustration and be a Gnat, be annoying, that's got to make you feel good that you know you're getting in those guys' heads.
Yes, sir. I love it.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about this Parkview matchup as we look. This is a Parkview team averaging 71 points a game and only giving up about 37 points per game in conference play, and they've dominated the first 6 games of conference play. Very talented team. I'll start Wait, let's see. Carl, you got the mic over here? Yeah, I got the mic. All right, I'll start with you, Carl. What excites you the most about this matchup with Parkview? Make sure you hold that up close.
I just feel like it's a good rivalry game. We've been playing against them for the past 3 years. We've been going at it. I think it's going to be a good game and a good atmosphere for the fans, and that's as well to prove that we still are a top team in 5A.
Colby, this is going to be your first time to get to experience this rivalry, obviously. I know you guys had some good rivalries in your time at Magnolia, but this is a big one, and it's probably going to be one that really decides who's going to win the 5A Central.
Yes, sir. You know, I'm looking forward to every big game that we can play in, you know. That's what I look forward to, and I know the other games are good or whatever, but you have to thrive for the big games. So, you know, playing against a team that plays just like us and run and get out, and they got multiple players and D1 athletes, I like the challenge.
So I'll stay with you for a minute, too, because obviously we didn't get to talk to you after the Beebe game, but you were underdog player of the game. Congratulations on that, 29 points. Talk about your impact in that game as you kind of went toe-to-toe with Riley Marshall scoring 31 over there.
Yes, sir. Riley's a very good player, and I just, you know, trying to come out aggressive and do what my team need me to do just to win the game. So my shot was falling early, and I knew that I probably wasn't going to miss for the rest of the game, and I almost didn't miss.
A lot of free throws down the stretch. You've been a big piece of that the last couple of games as well. I want to talk, too, a little bit about our student section. I know we've talked about these people being out here, been a huge asset to you guys on the road this season. Obviously, I think we all know what the atmosphere is going to be like tomorrow night. It should be loud. It should be wild. How important is it to you? Is it for you guys to play well for the fans as they've supported you, as they've made
Yes,
these
sir.
travels?
Like KT said, we feed off their energy. We young, and you know, as the crowd get hype, we get hype. You know, we want to turn up on defense, get defensive chance, and you know, we play harder when the crowd didn't do it. So they do a good job of, you know, turning us up, and we feed off the energy.
As a player, how do you manage that level of excitement? Because obviously, you know, Coach and I have talked about this when we looked at, you go back to maybe the North Little Rock game where it was pretty raucous, or even going as far back with some of these guys as the state title game last year. If you come out too amped up, you can find yourself in a hole pretty quickly. How do you manage that throughout the day, throughout game day, and then once you get into the game?
Yes, sir. It's all about bottling your energy, you know, using the energy to you know, make it positive and don't just overwhelm and, you know, trying to be too aggressive on defense. Now you getting backdoor cut and different things like this. So it's just about us, you know, using our heads and knowing when to jump for a ball and different things like that. So it's just all about us just being smart about it.
KT, you got the mic on. I'm going to ask you the same thing. How do you channel that energy and bring it to the floor versus getting yourself kind of out of your game and out of your role?
I don't know. You got to react. I was watching the Razorback game. My bad. I wasn't even paying attention.
That's just KT.
Crazy,
that's just KT.
My fault.
I may be asking, you know, too deep of questions for KT. No, I'm just kidding, man.
Nah, you ain't just kidding.
But how do you channel that energy? I mean, you're an energy guy anyway. I mean, and when things start to go well, obviously you bring that energy and you're playing hard. But coming into a big game, are you just even keel coming into it, or
coming into the game?
Yeah.
From the jump.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay, Carl, how do you manage those expectations, and how do you manage that energy before you come into a big game like this?
I think just having confidence in yourself, like, and just not trying to think about it like it's a game. Like, just go out there and play the game and just try to have fun. So that's what I think going into it.
Now you're going to have a future teammate across from you in this game.
Yeah.
How exciting is that?
I think it's very exciting for two UCA signees to go against each other and just show what UCA's potential is going to be next year.
Be a lot of fun. I know one thing. I'm not. If I was the play-by-play guy for UCA starting next year, it'd be a pretty tough job with 3 cams on the floor.
Yeah.
3 cams, a Carl. I mean,
right.
Yeah, we're gonna have some names to go through there.
Yes,
So,
sir.
Nico, I want to ask you something now that we're kind of talking about the fans and all of that kind of stuff. I know everybody knows who Nico is. Nico's the big personality when he comes out on the floor, and it seems like every single student section has a lot to say to Nico throughout every game. One is, do you take that as do you take that as an honor?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Does it feed you to really want to just because I know there's some ugly things that get said, but does it feed you?
It's some pretty bad things, but I just like to laugh it off because I don't know who they are. So it's just like.
Wait. What's your favorite saying?
I don't know you.
You
Who
and
are
nobody?
You? Yeah, you and nobody. There we go.
Oh man. So all right. Coach, I pass that over to Coach because I want to ask Coach kind of the same question. And I know defense has – you can probably hear me. You probably don't have to put it on. But I know defense has been a bit of a concern. And well, let me start here first. From a coach's standpoint, when you have a game of this magnitude and folks like us hyping it all up, how do you manage the emotions of these guys as a coach?
Just remind them that they're there for a job. They've got a job to do. Everyone has an assignment, and all you got to do is focus on your job. You can't get caught up in, trying to be the guy that's scoring all the points or trying to, you can't do everything. You got to stick to what you're good at, play your role, and if everyone will do their job, then we'll be fine.
Okay. So defense has been a concern. We've talked about it plenty tonight. As you look at this, what's it going to take for these guys to take the next step and develop that championship level defense as we get ready to start the second half of conference play?
Well, I'm excited for tomorrow to see how we are locked in on defense for 32 minutes. Because like I said, in spurts this year, we've seen that we are capable of playing good defense. I'm just ready to see it for an entire game. Not in spurts, and if I'll see that, then I'll know that we're capable of being at that championship level. Obviously, like I said, we've definitely got the championship level offense. We've just got to make sure we put the defense with it. But tomorrow, honestly, like I said, I know they're all going to be locked in. I know they're going to play hard. I think tomorrow the two big key stats will be turnovers and rebounds. I think if we can compete with them on the boards and keep it even or win the rebound battle, and if we can limit our turnovers, I think that definitely gives us a good chance.
So I want to turn to a guy who is I know he's one of Andy's favorite to watch on the floor, but and I'm glad Andy's here because I don't know that I've ever heard Andy giggle as much as I heard Andy giggle during the Hall game. I think it was the Hall game, right? With all the dancing KD was over here doing. Yeah, pull that a little close.
He's so confused right now.
Right here?
Yeah, that'll work.
What's y'all laughing
So all right. So during the Hall game, you're out there dishing assists and then dancing off into the side and stuff. How much fun do you? You're just a fun guy on the floor to watch.
Oh no, Riley missed the shot.
Dude, yeah, I know he missed it, but before he missed it, you were just dancing.
Cause he make all his shots in practice, like he just missed it. That wasn't my fault. That was his fault.
No, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying it's a lot of fun to watch you on the floor.
It would have been better if he would have made the shot, though. You know what I mean?
It's a lot of fun.
It's his fault. He missed. I passed it. He missed. I know. So I get the good dance. He just missed.
He ruined your dance, right?
Exactly. It would have been way better if he would have made it, huh?
Oh,
He probably would have made overtime. Bro, that's
yeah,
what I'm saying.
It'd have been everywhere.
That ain't my fault. I did my job. He just
What?
That's just his fault.
Wasn't that the game that KD dunked vicariously through KT?
Yes, that is the same game. Yeah, he dunked vicariously through KT.
I think I could have dunked that game. Yep. I got the steal for him. See what I mean?
I know you setting it up. Absolutely.
He should have made the shot. That's all.
You set him up. He was ready. He
should have made the shot.
Riley don't miss off, and hopefully we'll have.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I started dancing. And if it was anybody else, I probably wouldn't have did it.
Oh,
you said what?
Uh-oh.
All right, but nah. Well, all my teams I would have did it. Put it like that. Yeah. So I'm up here.
Maul, you want the mic?
Saying, ain't it?
You want to jump on? You don't have to. Here, Maul. One time. I got an easy question for you. Talk about this group of guys and how much fun they are to play with.
They're real fun, you know what I'm saying? Real interesting at that, too.
Interesting is a good way to put it. Obviously, you came over from Hall, and you've been a glue piece to this team so far since we've gotten into conference play. And you play a lot bigger than you are, I think, a lot of times inside. Mm-hmm. Where do you get that game from? Where do you find yourself? You know, where do you work on that, and where do you get that game from and that confidence from to just come in and whether you're playing 10 minutes, where you're playing 18 minutes, whatever it is, seems like you're going to come in and give us at least 9-10 points and 6-7 rebounds.
I try to make the most out of my opportunity that I'm getting. I try to resemble my game towards my big brother, Bobby.
Shout out Bobby Porter.
Very good, very good. Well,
we need some gear.
We have loved.
I got y'all. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I got y'all the gear.
All right, but I've loved watching you grow as a player this year. It's been a lot of fun. When you came in, I don't think many of us knew exactly what to expect, but you've definitely been a glue guy inside and been a big piece of what this team has done to this point.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're going to do one more question. I want every one of you to answer the question. It's a simple question, but obviously these guys are going to show up tomorrow. We know everybody's going to show up. We know we're going to have a big crowd, but I'll start. Let's start with Riley, and we'll work our way down. Riley, I want each of you guys to tell these people one reason why they have to show up in the Hornets' Nest tomorrow night. I got one. Well, Riley.
It's the biggest game in 5A.
Yeah. It's the biggest game in the state.
No, it's the biggest game in the state for sure.
Yeah, because Little Rock going to blow Central out tomorrow, so nobody needs to watch that.
Exactly.
One.
Oh, that's bold.
Biggest game in the state.
That's bold. Steve,
Biggest game in the state.
that's bold.
It's the biggest game in the state. Might as well say what y'all saying. It's the
There you
biggest
go.
game in the state.
Maul?
I forgot the question.
Why? give these folks one reason why they should show up tomorrow at the Hornets' Nest.
It's going to be a great game, you know what I'm saying?
Colby?
Oh, what they say?
What they say? Because they get to watch Easy Money work?
Y'all I'm saying, y'all watch Easy Money work, so pull up tomorrow.
Yeah, there you go. See? KT, I know KT's got a good reason.
I ain't got no good reason, but why not?
Why not?
Why not?
We ain't got nothing else better to do.
It's a Tuesday night. He's right.
We ain't got nothing else better to do. It's 7 o'clock.
KD ain't getting out of it. KD, give me one good reason. You're going to dance for us, right?
I ain't gonna do all that.
Oh, come on. We got Whitley to do backflips. We got you to do dancing.
Oh, because it's my mill versus Parkview, you know what I mean?
There you go. See? All right, fellas. Listen, I appreciate everybody joining us. I want to say thanks to everybody here at American Pie Pizza. It's been a lot of fun. I appreciate you guys coming. You guys make sure you show up tomorrow night. Also, you guys, I know you guys make sure you give all of our sponsors a shout. G4L Custom Embroidery. Of course, the folks here at American Pie Pizza have been great to us. Lisa George with Remax Elite. Cornerstone Home Lending, Dio Vanucci. Underdog Apparel, head over to officialunderdog.com. Acre Family Pharmacy, and, of course, Dotted Eye Photography. So,
I got one more thing.
Me too. I got one
We need Bobby Porter to sponsor us to get us a jumpsuit.
You heard the man. I'll tweet that out, and then we'll go through the man here and we'll see what happens.
I don't know what you waiting on, cuz.
All right, Colby, you had one more. Who's
Shout out
say?
Easy Money. You know what I'm on.
There you go. Hey, I'm telling you. Hey, by the way, Colby, congratulations. A couple new offers came through today.
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you.
Big time. Congratulations. So we hope to see a few more coming.
Thanks, Neek. Thanks, Neek.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Neek.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for us for Hornets Live. Again, we appreciate everybody joining us. Y'all make sure you come over here and see our friends at American Pie Pizza and get out and support them. And, of course, y'all have a great night, and we'll see y'all tomorrow night in a packed Hornets Nest as we look to get to 7-0 in conference.
Shout out Easy Money.
Thank y'all for coming.
Shout out my man, Boss Dude.
Easy